Hi guys, so I just recorded this whole video and apparently I wasn't recording, so we're going to try this again. This is going to be my intro for this channel, Frontline of Grief. My name is Ashley and I am a mortuary science student at St. Petersburg College in Florida. I have always had an interest in funerals and helping people through their grief. So I finally bit the bullet and I'm hitting the ground running with 4 classes this summer semester, right into the mortuary science program. So I've already graduated with my AA. I've also graduated from cosmetology school with my cosmetologist license in the state of Florida. And initially I wanted to do cosmetology in a funeral home, but it seems like that's a dead field, I guess, because they're just training morticians now on how to do their hair and makeup. So mortuary cosmetologist isn't really a thing anymore, and so I'm just going hard, going straight to mortuary school and getting my foot in the door, getting there. So like I said, I made this channel for study resource for mortuary science students and also a study resource for myself. Hearing things helps me a lot, and right now my mortuary program is completely online except for clinicals. So basically it's a bunch of reading and not a lot of videos, not a lot of things to hear. And after scouring YouTube, I realized there's a lot of nursing videos out there, pharmacology videos, anatomy videos, which anatomy is of course something that funeral directors and embalmers need to have. But there are no channels out there that really help funeral service students. So this is my channel that I wanted to make to help myself study and also to help you study. You can play these videos while you're cleaning your kitchen or while you're whatever you're doing. You can have another resource to hear something. And I'm pretty funny when I study. I like to come up with these funny little things to help me remember, and so you'll see that along the way too. Maybe they'll help you remember too, and we will raise a great new generation of morticians in America or wherever you are. Welcome. So the classes that I'm currently taking, I'm taking 4 summer classes, which is insane because semesters are usually 16 weeks long, but I'm taking all 4 of these classes in a 10-week period. My classes are Intro to Funeral Services, which is basically the history of funerals ever since the beginning of the first death ever. So it's so much to memorize, a lot of different cultural practices and things like that. And also my next class that I'm taking is Thanatology, which is the psychology of grief. Oh, mosquito, sorry. Psychology of death, dying, grief, and bereavement. So this class is very in depth about psychologists that have done research and different processes that they believe you have to go through when you're grieving. And my third class is cremation, which is the history, principles, and practice of cremation. So this class goes into depth with all of the forms that need to be filled out to complete that process, finding who's going to be in charge, and things like that. So my final class that I'm taking is Funeral Services Computer Applications, which is where you have to develop slideshows, music, write letters for collections, or write letters for, you have to review different funeral websites and things like that. I chose the name Frontline of Grief because I'm a military brat and I grew up all over the world, and frontline was a common term that I heard. So it just came to mind right away, and I do feel like funeral directors are not grief counselors or grief therapists, but we are the front line of catching someone when they're dealing with a loss. So we do need to be aware of the different grieving and coping mechanisms out there. People often ask me why I wanted to get into this field, and that is because I experienced many losses growing up. It ended up being a very defining part of my childhood. When I was 16, I lost a friend who slipped in the shower and broke his neck on the toilet. I know it's totally crazy. And he, at his funeral, he didn't look how I thought he should look. And I think that it really affected a lot of people. I don't know if you know me or if you know him, you might be able to recall that it wasn't the best preparation. A year later, my boyfriend was murdered, And at his service, his body and his face just looked amazing. So I really got to see that. That was a moment that I realized that the people behind the scenes really are the ones that are making the difference for the families. And I just wanted to be back there and make sure that I can make the families have the best experience that they can have in that situation. Since then, I've been to many different funerals, and I'm always finding myself being very critical of what's going on. Despite the fact that I am grieving, I've been through grief now on my own. I don't even know how many times, countless amounts of times. And so I think that's put me in a position to be really empathetic of people that are dealing with grief. I am going to go ahead and cut this one, and I'll be back in a little while with another video about some study material. So thanks for coming to my channel, and I hope to see you guys soon. If you are a mortuary science student, please give me some feedback. Also, if you have any tips, or if I happen to misstate something from my textbook, I know textbooks can vary. I'm just going to go off the material that my professors have given me. Please let me know in the comments. And I love to hear from you guys. If there's anything else you want to hear from me, I would love to go more in depth with my own grief and my own experiences as we go along as well. But I'm going to be posting videos every Tuesday and every Friday with new study content so that I can keep myself up to date with my own study content and be able to get us all ready for those midterms and finals. All right, guys. See you later.